My sixth grade talent show. Ever since I can remember, I wanted to be a performer. Music and expression have always come hand in hand, and my dream was to perform in front of millions of people so that I could share how I felt. However, at around the age of 9, I developed what I considered to be severe stage fright. At that age, everyone has some form of stage fright. However, I felt that mine was more crippling because it stopped me from doing even the most basic things like walking into a classroom or leaving a voicemail. So in sixth grade, I decided that despite my stage fright, I was going to try and participate more in choir and just be more outgoing in general. Along came an announcement for the talent show auditions, and I knew then that it was an opportunity to address my issue laid out right in front of me. When I made the decision to audition for the talent show, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I happened to choose a very difficult song, Beautiful by Christina Aguilera, and practicing it repeatedly didn't seem to make me feel any more comfortable with it. Not only that, but also it was required that we perform in front of a small audience as well as other contestants. And when I realized this on the day of the audition, I felt like I was melting in my seat. Even though I knew the entire school would see my performance during the real thing, I wasn't prepared to sing in front of more than a few people. So my nerves were high at this point. When it was my turn, I stood almost perfectly still while I whispered the song to the 40 people in the room. When I finished, there were some light claps, and I quickly walked back to my seat. A week later, when I found out that I was chosen to be in the show, I was so excited and extremely anxious all at once. Preparing for the talent show was more challenging than the audition prep because I already had a taste of how nerve-wracking the experience can be, which made me psych myself out a bit. It was clear that if I were to perform without messing up and embarrassing myself, I had to practice a song more and start to practice my stage presence as well. My family members helped me as I trained 5 times a week for about 6 months. I would sing my audition song, and in addition to other songs, with the microphone we had while my family acted as the audience. These moments made me nervous, but they did help me to feel better about performing in front of others. Still, I remembered how instead of 3 or 4, it would be hundreds of people at the talent show. And so practicing became second nature on the weekdays. Finally, the day had come to where I was going to get up on stage and sing about self-confidence with all of my friends and frenemies closely watching. That morning when I practiced, all I could see were people laughing or staring when I fumbled a word or missed a note. But I reminded myself that I had done all that I could do up to that point to make my performance a good one, an impactful one. So I carried that mentality backstage with the other contestants. Some of them were even more nervous than I was. When the host announced my song, I felt my stomach butterflies rushing up my chest and throat because I knew my name was coming next. I walked on stage and I could barely see anything because of how piercing the spotlight was. So I took a deep breath and I waited for my song to start. When it did, my voice cracked at the very beginning and my heart completely sank. I felt like all the training meant nothing because I was short of perfection. I continued to sing the song anyway, and as it progressed, the words seemed to flow without effort. And although I could barely focus, I didn't forget one note. Right before I finished the song, the crowd started cheering and I smiled from ear to ear. I just couldn't hide my happiness that everyone enjoyed the performance. I finished the last lines of the song and the crowd gave me a standing ovation. After that performance, I walked into the school hall and a bunch of people I didn't know came up to me letting me know how well they thought I did. In conclusion, I feel that this experience helped me to grow because I learned how to make a goal and stick to it, how to plan something and follow through to the end, despite having an obstacle that seems insurmountable. From the beginning, I was deathly afraid, but my drive for singing and performing was stronger. It made me feel elated and accomplished when my peers congratulated me. And it was also proof that this challenge was one that I needed to take because I didn't think I could do it before. I still have stage fright. However, I do utilize tools like preparation and endless practice because without them, I might have messed up the rest of the song. Lastly, I think that my 6th grade talent show helped me to see that I can trust myself when I dedicate the time and effort into what I really love the most, and that stage fright can be overcome. Thank you.